Good morning, happy Sunday, everybody. Let's get to my low, my high, my act of kindness. Oh, almost forgot. Right. So, my low, my high, my act of kindness. What is my low? Um, hmm. um, I guess my low is I went to bed later than I would have liked to, and I'm kind of feeling it right now. I mean, I was still in bed by 10:30, but for reference, it's almost 7 a.m. as I'm recording this. So, technically, I was in bed for roughly 8 hours. But being in bed for 8 hours and actually being asleep for that long are two different things. But you know what? Yesterday was a really great day. In fact, that's my high because I went to Rekt Brewing Company for their 2-year anniversary celebration. And it was great. They had three. Actually, I'll talk about more of that in a second. Actually, my act of kindness was I gave the folks over at Rekt Brewing Company a couple of jars of pickles as a way of my saying congratulations for being open. Oh, two jars are for the people at Rekt. One jar specifically was for someone who had a birthday, so that was my act of kindness. And man, what can I tell, man? To be open for, even 1 year, given what could happen, especially post-COVID, it's a lot to be open. Go for 2 years, that's already no small feat. Look at Patrick's. I believe I went there for their 9 year. It's gonna be 10 years next year. Holy cow! It'll be 3 for Rekt Brewing Company too. Things I look forward to in 2027. And the fact that places like those are open after, even 2 years in the case of Rekt, it not only shows that a place like that is run by good people, but it also shows that the community that I live in is ridiculously supportive of local, as you should be. And, I say support local all the time, but yeah, I totally, not gone local for things. Sure I have. But, there's a time and a place. You could, go to a store like, Walmart and get yourself, cheese and honey and soap, I guess. Or you could, and it'll be good. And actually, if you look on the back of the ingredients label for honey, and if it doesn't say just honey, that is a problem. Some things you buy at a store will actually have the ingredient says it has on there, which is great. Other times, you're going to have items in the store where you need a PhD in literature just to be able to read what those words are. Which, they have their uses, sure. Or, you could go support someone who actually made the items that you're looking for in the cleanest, most natural way. And, listen, yeah, I know Rekt Brewing Company is, beer, but, listen, they make their own beer. It's a brewing company and they make their own beer. And they support other local beer and brewing companies as well. So it's quite literally. So So in the case of Rekt, when you're supporting local while supporting local. That seemed like a mouthful now, didn't it? And it's awesome. And sometimes it actually makes me think about, how different the world would be had COVID never happened. I mean, would there still be problems with, inflation and gas and, things being too expensive? Maybe. I mean, I think we're going to face that problem no matter what, no matter what era that we're in. I mean, it's, rocket and feathers. Prices will go up like a rocket and they'll gently go down like a feather. Unfortunately, that's how it is. And I will admit, I've been trying to cut back on a few things as well, save some money here and there. And it's been working great so far. But, yeah, I do miss some of that. I do miss doing some of that stuff. I do. But at times, understand there's a time and a place. Like, for me, I know for sure I got to get ready to do some holiday shopping in a couple months. Well, yeah, I know I make a bunch of jars of pickles, but you know what? Making pickles costs money. Start saving now so you can have stuff for, holiday season. Or, there's some birthdays coming up as well. Of course, I have to worry about birthdays. Actually, my nephew's birthday is going to be coming up in a couple weeks. He's going to be turning 6. I'll definitely need to prepare for that. I'm getting a card as well as a gift. Gotta do that as well. What else? Well, the fact that we're this far into August means pumpkin spice will be on the horizon very soon, which pleases my inner white girl very much so. Definitely will be getting that when the time arrives. What else do I have to save for? That's really about it. But no, I mean, yeah, I'm trying to be better about stuff like that. But at the same time, I also know to, support local establishments. Yesterday I supported Rekt Brewing Company. Friday night I went to show support for a local band at Illegal Tap House, another local area. Even on Thursday night, when I was visiting my nephews and they were up at that camp that was up at Cuca Lake, the fact that Blue Eyed Soul was there, who's a local band from this area, that was already a real treat. It absolutely was. So, yeah, supporting yet another local band. But also, I mean, Wise Guys Pizza, which we had for dinner, was also in Hammondsport. And, it's really, really good pizza. I mean, I'm sure anyone from this area would probably compare it to Anelio's, and no, I wouldn't say it's quite as good as Anelio's. It's still very, very good, though. Like, right up there with, it's on the same level, I'd say, like Atlas or Vincenzo's. Very, very, very good. You get food from there, you get food from Wise Guys. You're wise if you get food from Wise Guys. Hey, that's pretty clever. Actually, fun fact, back when my grandfather was alive, he really would have done a lot of his own cooking for dinner, and if he had guests over, if that was his thing. But if for whatever reason, like he didn't, or it was someone else when my family was visiting who was in charge of dinner, they got pizza at Wise Guys. And yeah, that was my introduction to Wise Guys. Actually, fun fact, I think I said this yesterday too. The people that own Wise Guys also own the Cuca restaurant that's in Penn Yan, as well as the Swiss. So yeah, again, the people that own those three places are geniuses. I mean, think about it. They've cornered the market on like things to do if like you're a kid in college. Especially considering that Cuca College is literally right there. I mean, well actually, there's also Cam's Pizza in Penn Yan too, and Mark's. Those are good places too. Cam's and Mark's Pizzeria are also really good. But yeah, I just, like, if you're a student that's going to Cuca College, I just gave you 3 places to get yourself some pizza. Because college students love pizza. You're welcome. I just mentioned the Cuca restaurant. That's a place you could take your parents for, when they're visiting in town, for a nice little family dinner. That's good. And come on, man. Do I even need to mention the Sweats? It's Party Central right there. And again, yeah, you're a college student looking for things to do and have a good time, but every single place I just mentioned was local. I don't think that's a coincidence. So yeah. In case anyone's wondering, yeah, I do miss the fact that, I was actually talking this over with my father a couple days ago, and yeah, it does kind of suck that I haven't really been to Cuca Lake much this whole summer, and summer is winding down. Especially, if you're in South Carolina, summer's already over for you. Sorry. But that was actually one really, like, there was really ever one problem with being up at Cuca Lake is once you're up in a place like that, you're really far away from anything that's going on. Oh, unless of course, my family and I just happen to be lucky. We're like a mile south of the Swiss. We're not very far from the Swiss, so worst case scenario, you can just go there. So we have at least that option. But for some people, the option isn't really there, unless you want to drive pretty far to get there. We're 8 miles for where I am. We're 8 miles away from Hammondsport, and 13 from Penn Yan. It's not. It's not a significant drive going there, but going there and back, it can add up kind of. So you gotta plan accordingly. Again, saving money, but you're also supporting local too. Like, that's the only reason why I would go to those places. To look for places to support local. Like, man, there's so many places up in Cuca Lake I love and go to that. Yeah, I could name them all, but I think I've been talking about Cuca Lake enough in this video as it is. And to a small extension of Seneca Lake. Shout out to Fox Run Vineyards. But yeah, every place I just mentioned so far is a local establishment. And, to be open for however long they've been open for, that's a huge feat. And yeah, Rekt Brewing Company's only been open for, 2 years, but you know what? It's a good place run by good people that a lot of people in this area love to go to. Not just because they're supporting local, but just because, again, it's a good place run by good people. It's really no surprise they've been open for 2 years. I mean, had they had opened sooner, they'd be open for a lot longer than that. But, it's just the way things are. Honestly, and yesterday really was a celebration. Well, seriously, the people at Rekt Brewing Company are definitely very blessed to have so many people who go out and support them. They are. I mean, again, I was there. Well, here's the thing. So I was at Rekt from 2 to around 4:30 because I had to go to church and saw my family for a little bit. And then I went back because when I was there, Tremaine Hare and Kevin Madden, is it? Shoot. Kevin Shedden. We're both performing there. And when I went back after visiting my family, Peyton Clark was also playing. Shout out to Tremaine Hare, Kevin Shedden, and Peyton Clark. You guys were great. Again, local talent. That's local talent right there. So again, supporting more local. So you had great music, a great place to hang out, and a whole bunch of people were there to celebrate, an establishment that may have only been open for 2 years, but believe me, it won't be long until we do the 3-year celebration next year, and then 4-year, and then 5-year. And honestly, I won't be surprised if it gets to, it gets to 10 years in 10 years, but I won't be surprised when it gets to that point. And all because people are supporting local. And they're actually kind of saving money doing that too. I mean, I really can't speak for everybody else, but I know I am. Going out and having a good time and talking to people, seeing friends. That's what it's all about right there. Hope you like this video. Like, subscribe to YouTube channel, on social media. As always, I'm very helpful. Next video for you guys to watch your video. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Sunday, every other week. Remember, if you want to talk to us, we hit the lenders back. Take care and make good choices. 6 of 7 all day, baby.